Hello children, we are discussing the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce. In our previous video we have discussed the asexual mode of reproduction, its types and all the examples which can be included in your syllabus. Now we will discuss the next half of this chapter, that is sexual reproduction. As its name indicates, the mode of reproduction in which two genders or two sexes are involved. That is one male and another one is a female. So what is sexual reproduction? It is the process of giving rise to new individuals by fusion of gametes or sex cells or reproductive cells. That means of reproduction is known as sexual reproduction. The method in which two organisms are involved will produce their respective gametes, and those gametes will then fused with each other, mixed with each other, and then form a new organism. This reproduction is also referred as amphimixis. It is composed of two words, bache. The first one is amphi, that means both, and other one is mixes, that means to join, to fuse. So the mode of reproduction in which two gametes fuse with each other, fusion of two gametes, that is male gamete and female gamete, takes place and a new individual is produced. A new individual is born, that is known as amphimixis or sexual mode of reproduction. So here bache, we are continuously talking about one term, that is gametes. Sex cells or reproductive cells. What are they? These are the haploid cells which will undergo fusion to produce a new individual or to produce a young one. That is known as gametes. The haploid cells. Now the question arises, what is haploid? Haploid is also made up of two words, bache. First one is taken from half. H is taken from half, that means adha. And the other word is ploid, is taken from ploidy, means set of chromosomes. In your previous classes, you must have studied about the nucleus of a cell, and in that there is a uniqueness of nucleus of a particular species. What is that uniqueness, bache? In a particular species, every nucleus has a fixed number of DNA, or you can say fixed number of chromosomes. For example, human beings have 46 chromosomes in every cell. But their gametes, their sex cells, their reproductive cells has half number of chromosomes. That is 23. So that is the half set of chromosomes. So that whensoever two gametes will fuse, for example, let's say, like this is the male gamete. It has half number of chromosome, that is N. The other one is female gamete. It has other half. When these two halves fuse with each other, when these two half set of chromosomes, when these two gametes fuse with each other, they will form a zygote. That we will discuss in the later halves of this chapter, bache. So, n number of chromosome n that will combine together, fuse together and form 2n. That is 2 set of chromosome. The normal set of chromosome which is required for all the characteristics in a living organism. So, that will make the double set. 2 set, that is known as diploid cell. Dia means 2 and ploidy means set of chromosomes. The usual set of chromosomes in a human being cell is 46. That means there are a pair of 23 chromosomes. 23 pair of chromosomes are present in us. Pair means 2. So 23 multiplied 2 is 46. How we get that 46 chromosomes? 23 came from male gamete, that is sperm, and 23 came from female gamete, that is known as ovum. When those 23 from each gamete will fuse together, join together, that will form a diploid set. बच्चों क्या होता है ह्यूमन बीइंग्स में या सेक्सुअल रिप्रोड्यूसिंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स में, आधा सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम मेल से आता है. जैसे कि हमारे केस में 23 क्रोमोसोम मेल से आए, मेल मींस फादर, और 23 क्रोमोसोम मदर से आए, दैट इज फीमेल गैमेट. दोनों फ्यूज हुए, 23 यहां से 23 यहां से, 23 and 23 will become 46, and this fusion is known as fertilization. That we will discuss, bachcho. That is just a base. So when 23 and 23 will combine together, then first cell of living organism is formed, that is a zygote. As we have discussed in our class 9th bachche, that zygote is the first cell of every living organism which is reproduced by sexual reproduction. हमने पढ़ा था बच्चों 9th क्लास में in cell theory that zygote is the first cell of every living organism which reproduces by sexual mode of reproduction. So that's how a zygote is formed. When two gametes, when two sex cells which have a half set of chromosomes fuse with each other, meet with or combine with each other completely and form a zygote. That is referred as zygote. So the two gametes are different. That is male gamete and female gamete. These are given as separate names. For example, in plants, male gamete is referred as pollen grain. In plants only. प्लांट्स में जो मेल गैमीट होता है बच्चों, मेल हाफ क्रोमोसोम पोजेसिंग सेल होती है, मेल सेक्स सेल जो होती है, दैट इज नोन एज pollen grain, एंड द फीमेल गैमीट इज नोन एज ovum or egg. Whereas in animal, in asexually reproducing animals, the animals which produced by sexual mode of reproduction, the male gamete is known as sperm and the female gamete is referred as ovum or egg. So female gamete has same name in both the plants as well as in animals. Whereas in plants and animals, the male gamete's name is different. The male gamete in plants is referred as pollen grain, and in animals it is referred as sperm. So when these two gametes in those different kind of organisms will meet, and that they will form the first cell of every living organism producing by sexual mode of reproduction, and that is known as gametes or reproductive cells or sex cells. Now we will discuss characteristics of sexual reproduction. What are the features or characteristics of sexual reproduction? The first one is sexual reproduction is biparental. What does it mean, bache? It means two parents are involved. It is the mode of reproduction in which two parents are involved in the production of a young one. Two parents will produce their respective gametes, and then those gametes will fuse with each other, and that will lead to the production of a young one. So it is a biparental process in which two parents are involved. Second one, bache, in this formation of gametes takes place. As we discussed in the earlier part, bache, the two gametes, that is male gamete and female gametes, are produced. The male parent produces its own gamete, referred as pollen grain in plants, or sperm in case of animals. And the female parent produces its own respective gamete, that is known as ovum or egg, in plants as well as in animals. Next, bache, if formation of gametes is there, that means fertilization occurs. What is fertilization? Fusion of male and female gamete. That is fertilization. Whereas all these things were absent in asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is uniparental. No requirement of gametes was there, and as gametes are not present, the fertilization does not take place. So that is basically a difference also between the sexual and asexual mode of reproduction. The next is division. Formation of gametes is procured by meiosis, the reductional division, whereas development of an fetus, development of a complete organism, is achieved by mitosis. Zygote divided by mitosis. So both the cell divisions takes place in sexual reproduction. Meiosis required for the formation of gametes for the initial stages of sexual reproduction, and then mitosis. When zygote form, zygote divides continuously, rapidly and repeatedly to form multiple cells. That is what achieved by mitosis. So both the cell divisions are required, meiosis as well as mitosis. Whereas in the previous mode of reproduction, that is asexual one, only one type of cell division is there, and that is mitosis. Mitosis is the base of asexual reproduction, whereas in sexual reproduction, meiosis as well as mitosis takes place. Next, bache, the fifth one, variations are there. Variations are very common. The young ones are not identical to their parents, whereas in asexual mode of reproduction, the young ones which are produced are exact copies of their parents, their respective parents. Whereas in a sexual mode of reproduction, the individuals which are born, the young ones which are born from the parents, have certain variations. They are not identical to their parents. So that is what the difference, as well as these are the characteristics of sexual mode of reproduction, the mode of reproduction in which two individuals are involved, and those two individuals are known as parents, and that two individuals will give rise to a young one by the formation of sex cells, reproductive cells, or gametes.